Journey into a world where the art of fly tying transcends time, preserving the intricate legacy of its greatest masters. Each meticulously crafted fly, a testament to unparalleled skill and innovative design, awaits your discovery. This is the Masters Fly Tyers Archives.
The tails are quite long, at least as long as the body. You can adjust, once you've got them tied onto the top of the hook, you can adjust the length by pulling in either direction. And just hold them to make sure they stay on top of the hook as you wind back. One of the things I do for ribbing is I take gold thread. This is a Krynic thread. If I hold that there, can you focus? It's just Krynic metallic thread, that's all it is. So I just cut off a little piece, and you unravel the ends. Invariably, one end will be easier to unravel than the other, and take out the core. So I'm left with a very, very thin wrapping of this. It's like a mylar-like wrapping that was on the thread. And I'm going to tie it in on the underside of the hook. A couple of turns, and I'm going to just pull it tight. Now, what I want to do is make sure that the tail fibers stay on top. The ribbing can wander a little bit, doesn't really matter. When I get to the back, this is where I want to separate the tails. This piece of thread that I held back, I'm going to do the same thing. Pull the tails back until they sort of naturally separate. I'm going to take this piece of thread and go around the hook and hold it together kind of like the reins on a horse, and just bring it up in between the tails. And just lash it down. Now with this, depending on how much tension I apply, I can get a little bit more spread. And I'm happy with that position. So that's just taking the thread around, pulling it and separating the tails. That's a very easy way of separating the tails. The downside is that when you've got ribbing, it can get in the way. This is CA glue. CA glue is super glue. So that locks in the two tails. Can you see this? Show? Yep, okay. So now we have to build up a little thin body, and I just do that with the thread, try and keep it as flat as possible. Okay. And now the ribbing. So I'm just going to twist this up until it goes round again. And this makes for a very delicate little rib. Okay, done. So there's tail and body. And just to give it a little bit of protection and depth of color, I just take some thin head cement and just add a little coating to the winging material. I like to use organza, and the reason I like to use organza is because it gives a shimmer to the wings that's almost impossible to reproduce with any other material. So I've got some samples of organza here because I don't often see it in fly shops, but you can certainly see it at dressmakers with fly.
How many flies will that cover?
This will tie a couple of thousand.
63 billion.
So here's one, this is the gold. Is that visible there?
Yeah.
So I cut off about 1.25 inches of this. And I take a few fibers off the top. Until I start exposing the warp fibers. You see a fringe there? See that little fringe? So the idea is once you get this down to wing size, you want to take some fibers off the bottom as well. You'll end up with a rectangle of fabric. And that's about enough fibers to tie a decent wing for a fly about this size. So what you want to do is then start removing the warp fibers in the middle. Those reddish fibers have to start coming out. Now the first couple are hard to take out, but if you get a good pair of tweezers, so a good pair of tweezers will actually help you pull these guys out fairly easily. Now why do I want to do this as opposed to pulling off all of the warp? Can you see the sort of blank space in the middle? So the idea to do this, why I do this is because if you've ever tied like a duck quill wing, here's one that I've already prepared and it's ready to go. There's a fairly large segment right in the middle that has no warp fibers. So I'm going to hold this, and if you've ever tied in a duck quill wing, what I will do is when I apply the thread, it'll collapse the fibers down in a nice little bunch. But it'll leave the fibers spread out. If I were to take all of those warp fibers out, you end up with a bundle of sticks, and you don't get the spread. So imagine that you're tying sort of a duck quill wing. So we're going to go up and then just pull down. Now here, I can turn it sideways. And figure eight it. So now that the wing is tied in, I can finish the thorax. I can either take out these remaining fibers now or wait until after the thorax is done. I'm going to do the latter. And I'm just going to use some of this ultrafine dubbing. And just to get the fibers aligned, I'm going to just pull it apart and put it back together. Because literally I want to get my fingers dirty with this stuff, no more than just a fine coating to dress the thread. So I'm going to just wrap a very small thorax section on this fly, finishing up just behind the eye of the hook. And I'm almost done. Okay, so all I have left now is to remove the remaining warp fibers, and I can do that just with a little comb. See the spring? Okay, so I'm just going to hold those wings up together. I can always trim them back if I need to. Just cut to shape. Done.